hate me, don't you?
Tune in to Kons Podcast.
You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you? You hate me, don't you?
So first up, T.I., we all know T.I. and 50 Cent be going back and forth with each other. Apparently, this all started with T.I. challenged 50 Cent to a versus Freidman, a professor at Hunter College in New York. You know what I mean? The mayor been out there talking about closing schools. So, example, it needs to be shown that there's consequences for this type of racism in America. You know what I mean? The governor of California, you know what I'm saying? He was speaking in some type of interview. I guess a crowd full of black people. I guess it was a black person interviewing him. Yeah, what's going on? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? What is happening? It's episode 365 today. You know what I mean? Episode 365 on this good Tuesday. You know what I mean? On this good, whatever you want to call it, Taco Tuesday, Titty Tuesday. Nonetheless, it is a Tuesday. You know what I mean? February 24th, 2:41 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? Hope all y'all been doing cool. You feel me? I hope y'all had a good Monday yesterday. You know what I mean? It's the start of the week. A lot of people get their good Monday blues. You know what I mean? Don't nobody feel like going to work. Don't nobody feel like waking up after the long weekend you had that you might have kicked it, pulled up, rolled up, whatever you did on the weekend. You feel me? Nobody want to get up and have to come to work on a Monday. You know what I mean? So I hope all y'all Mondays was cool. You know what I'm saying? In case you first now tuning in, you feel me? Go ahead, hit the like button for me. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe for me. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to remind you again before the end of this episode to hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? You'll see a little insert or something in the middle of this and telling you, letting you know, reminding you. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it out to all your homies. You know what I mean? Share it out to your friends, to your text message group chats, whatever it is, where there's people at, put Kons Podcast in their ear. You know what I mean? I only got a few little topics for you today. You know what I'm saying? 3 little topics we gonna go over. We definitely gonna touch on this T.I. and 50 Cent beef that's been going on. You know what I mean? Definitely gonna let you know a little bit of that in the clips. I'm gonna have to probably mute the sound because this is dealing with music. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he took the little copyright sting off his diss tracks that he did towards 50 Cent. But I'm gonna show you some of the video. You know what I mean? Him, he's flexing in the video visually. We're gonna get into that, and then this is Black History Month, you feel me? So we're gonna get into when white people racism is showing a little bit, you know what I mean? We got 2 other topics where it is just that, you feel me? Allyson Freidman, we're gonna touch on that, a teacher who was on a call and forgot her mic was on and let some racist stuff come out her mouth on the call in front of a bunch of other students and board members out in New York. We also want to touch on Gavin Newsom, the governor out here in Cali. You know what I'm saying? Now, I like Newsom up until he said this, you know what I mean, that we going to touch on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the last 2 topics is when white people racism is showing a little bit. You know what I mean? That's everything we're going to be touching on today. Episode 365. You know what I mean? Episode 365. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, hope everybody is cool. It is a good Tuesday. You know what I mean? But without no, and if this is your first time in, you feel me, you wondering what this channel is about, what we do, this is where I let you know about headlines, news, whatever headlines you might have seen, whatever headlines that's going viral, that's making noise, that you've seen on your homepage whenever you first might have logged onto your computer, whether that's Google News, MSNBC News, Yahoo News, Hip Hop DX, whatever news, wherever you get your news from. I'm probably touching on 1, 2, 3 of them headlines right here on Kons Podcast, you know what I mean? So share it out to your friends, you feel me? And let me keep you updated on this wicked world, you know what I mean? Without no more further ado, without no more chit chat banter, you know what I'm saying? Let's jump right into these topics. So first up, you know what I mean, T.I., we all know T.I. and 50 Cent be going back and forth with each other. Apparently, this all started with T.I. challenged 50 Cent to a versus battle. You know what I mean? And I guess he felt like 50 Cent backed out of that. You know what I mean? So then I guess he wanted to go on a run and talk a bunch of jazz about 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Apparently, he was saying on some podcast that they had planned this out. They had mapped this out and had planned it out, and 50 hit him with this opportunity. I don't know if T.I. is telling the truth in that or not, you know what I mean? He said he was with it, and then he started doing his piece, and that's when things, I guess, went left on 50 Cent's side. I don't know. You know what I mean? And they've been funking and beefing ever since. Recently just came back to light. You know, we didn't have, like I showed you on yesterday's episode, we didn't have his son going on rants. You know what I mean? Mentioning 50 Cent's deceased mom, a whole bunch of other disrespectful stuff. You know what I mean? So T.I. dropped a diss track. You know what I mean? Aimed at 50, and it's not bad. You know what I mean? He dropped the whole track and a snippet of a song. You know what I'm saying? It's not too bad. I heard it. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest flex though was him in the video, and definitely saying things. He bringing up old stuff. You know, the internet is definitely gonna dig out things that he's saying. We remember when he had allegedly burnt his baby mama's house down, set it on fire with his kid in it. You know what I'm saying? This little clip you about to see is a little clip from that time. This is his baby mama on the news telling the cameras and the microphones that she definitely believed it was 50 Cent who did it. Check this clip out real quick.
I know he did. There's not a doubt in my mind on my son's life. I know he did.
What happened?
I know he did.
Anything? Did you see anything?
Someone threw something through the window and the house just ignited. Couldn't even make it downstairs. We had to jump out the window.
Do you think he hired someone to do it?
Yes, of course. I know he's too much of a coward to do anything himself.
You're
blaming 50 Cent for this?
Yes.
You know what I mean? That was an old clip for her letting the cameras know, yeah, it was 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Threw something in the house, you know what I mean? And it started burning up. She let everybody know who she definitely thought and felt like that it was. So that came up in T.I.'s little diss track. And also he taking shots. He also took shots just like his son did at 50's mom, you know what I mean? But this was the flex though, because he's alleging that 50 Cent has nobody. Nobody loves him. He ain't got no family. Every time he gets a woman, they fail. Whenever he had a woman in the limelight, Diddy had took that woman from him, which is all facts. I mean, all that stuff definitely did happen, you know what I mean? So the flex though is that T.I. is in this video, you're gonna see in the clips, you know what I mean? I'm gonna show you the clips, but he's in this video and he's sitting with all of his family, all the kids, his wife, his mom. His mom's though is the biggest flex there, because of what his son said about his mom, mentioning his mom. Yeah, go dig her up. Go dig her up. Where your mama at? Go dig her up. You feel me? She dead and all this, you know, all the disrespect that his son was doing. He definitely doubled down on that by having his mom in this little video and leaning over, giving her a kiss, and put the caption up saying that he, you know, the best thing is something being to take care of his mom and get her out the hood and this and that, things along them lines, you know what I mean, is what he said in the caption to this little video where he's showing all his family eating very luxurious dinner with his mom sitting there, you know what I mean? This was definitely a flex and a shot at 50 Cent, you know what I mean? So the next little clip you're gonna see is just certain little people talking about this, reactions to it, and also I'm gonna show you the clip of the video that I was talking about in somebody else's clip that they used the video in, you know what I mean? But I can't play the music because, you know, copyrighted things and issues and things like that. I don't want no strike on here for playing the music, you know what I mean? But in these next little clips, you're going to see more so on this beef between T.I. and 50 Cent. Check them out.
What y'all think about this new diss track that T.I. just released aimed at 50 Cent? It is getting heated up over there between these two gentlemen. The gloves are off. Tell me what you think. Alright, so what do y'all think about that? Y'all heard it right there. Did T.I. come back and go crazy on that? But y'all can't forget that 50 Cent got bars too. Let's not act like this ain't gonna be a problem for T.I. also. This ain't little flip, bruh. So I'm excited to see this. I think that this will actually be great for hip-hop if these men keep it on wax and keep everything in the studio. You know, even a little drama here and there might hype it up for the masses as far as record sales, and really starting to shift the focus back in the culture to creating the music and less about living a lifestyle that creates the music. Let's go.
I feel like the beef between T.I. and 50 Cent is getting out of hand. I mean, 50 Cent was accusing T.I. of snitching.
Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip.
But that's not the moment where it crossed the line. The moment it crossed the line was when 50 posted that picture of Tani on his Instagram account. My thing is, you can't bring a man's wife into a beef that she don't really have anything to do with. And we've seen 50 Cent in this situation before. See, 50, he always think he's safe because he never really have a girl in the public. And when he did have a girl in the public, guess what happened? Puffy took her and Puffy did his thing with her. Yeah, so 50 Cent thought he was safe because how is T.I. gonna say anything back when 50 Cent, he doesn't have a wife. So that's when T.I.'s son, he jumped on Instagram and he went off on 50.
Mama, go up. Post a picture of your mama. He did. Pay respect. Stop playing with my mama.
And I really don't blame King for saying the things he said about 50 Cent's mama, because it's like I said, the way 50 Cent tries to protect himself, he don't really have a lot of people around him. So it's like, what can you say about the people around him? He don't have a wife. So I don't blame T.I.'s son for saying disrespectful things about 50 Cent's mama, because at the end of the day, Tiny is King's mama. So you gotta try to hit 50 Cent where it hurt. Now, I don't think that really hurt 50 Cent too much, because his mom been dead for a long time. So I'm pretty sure he has healed from that situation, or could have took him back to that moment. See, it's hard to beef with 50 Cent because 50 Cent, he don't really care about his baby mama. He allegedly tried to burn a house down. He don't really care about his older son. He said he don't really care if he get hit by a bus.
So, as you seen, you feel me? That was T.I. and 50 Cent. A lot of people talking about the beef. A lot of people's reactions to the beef, you know what I mean? So, this is what I feel about it, you know what I mean? The beef is old. I think it's very petty, you know what I mean? This all started from you challenging 50 Cent to a versus and he didn't do it. So, you mad. I don't understand. These are grown people we talking about, you know what I mean? These are grown people who are acting like, yo, toy got took in a sandbox somewhere and y'all are sitting on y'all asses in a sandbox playing and somebody snatched a toy. So now you throwing a tantrum, you know what I mean? This is what it seems like to me. It's very child's play. I don't know, very petty, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand. This is, so it all started from you challenged him to a versus and he didn't accept the challenge. So what? Like, move on, you know what I mean? Now it's diss tracks and people's dead relatives being mentioned and disrespected all over because of you. He didn't accept your versus challenge. I just feel it's a bit childlike, you know what I mean, to me, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's just definitely a bit childlike, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say on that, you feel me? Man, that was clips, different reactions to this beef, to T.I.'s little diss songs that he put out, and different reactions to what people feel. And the video I showed you in the clip of him showing the video of him sitting around the dinner table with all his family, you know what I mean? So, in this part of the show, you know what I mean, in this part of the episode, these next two topics is just going in honor of Black History Month. This is when white people racism is showing a little bit, you know what I mean? So the next topic is about Allyson Freidman, a professor at Hunter College in New York, you know what I mean? The mayor been out there talking about closing schools. So they had a little Zoom meeting, you know, they put together a little Zoom call. I want to hear from some of the schools because they act like they care about the school's opinion when they're talking about closing them. So they put together these little Zoom meetings, you know what I mean? They act like they care and hear people's opinions. So in the middle of this Zoom meeting, you know what I mean? You can see students and people from staff, principals or whatnot, people that involved with the school on this meeting, you feel me, along with a bunch of other students. And there is a Black girl speaking about how much she loves the school, how much the teachers that's aided to her and helping her out when she needed the help, just big up in the school, you know what I mean, giving the school a bunch of flowers and praise. And during this time, Allyson Freidman's a professor at Hunter College. I believe she is a neuroscientist. Her mic was hot at the time, and you can hear her say something along the lines of, you can hear her say they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. Then she says, if you train a Black person well enough, they will know to use the back. You feel me? So this is things that her mic happened to just pick up, and you can hear some. Once she said that, you can hear somebody else say, Allyson Freidman, what you are saying is hearable. Please stop. You know what I mean? And then it just get real silent, and everybody's faces is in awe and covering their mouth and noses and in disbelief and all this and that. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on sitting in the back of the bus. You know what I mean? Speaking on social training of a Black person to be in the back. You know, then they will voluntarily just go to the back once you train them to do so, is what she is saying. You know what I'm saying? So in the next little clips, you're going to see from a few little netizens who spoke on this and have something to say on this as well. and people speaking on this, and more so on Allyson Freidman's racism showing at this school on the Zoom call. Check it out.
On Friday, he delivers lessons and helps us fit those skills into our lessons.
Bad schools that they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. I mean, apparently Martin King said it. Like, if you train a black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore.
Allyson Freidman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You gotta stop.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Me and many other students with our classes and with basketball.
A black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore.
Allyson Freidman.
A professor from Hunter College, Allyson Freidman, is getting slammed online after she was caught on a hot mic during a school virtual meeting where she said this while a black 8th grader student was talking.
Friday, he delivers lessons and helps us fit those skills into our lessons.
Bad schools that they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. I mean, apparently Martin King said it. Like, if you train a black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore.
Allyson Freidman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You gotta stop.
This happened at a community education council meeting where families and educators were talking about potential school closures in New York City. The Manhattan Bureau President Brad Segal called her comments outrageous, and The Times has reported that Freidman has apologized for her comments, saying, "My comments make clear these views are not my own, nor were they directed at any student or group. I fully support these courageous students in their efforts to stop school closures. However, I recognize these comments caused harm and pain. While that was not my intent, I do truly apologize."
Train a black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore.
Allyson Freidman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You gotta stop.
That was the voice of Professor Allyson Freidman. And yes, you heard it correctly. She said, if you train black people well enough, they'll learn to use the back, referencing to the laws in the South primarily that force black people to use back entrances in public buildings or sit at the back of the bus. And that comment was made during an online meeting while an 8th grader was talking about the possibility that a public school will be closed by the Department of Education. And clearly that phrase did not escape the attention of other participants who reacted in understandable shock. And during that meeting, Allyson Freidman didn't know she was unmuted and said what you heard she said, and later on tried to justify her statement by saying that she was trying to explain to somebody off meeting what systemic racism is. And I clearly don't know and can't prove what her train of thought was, but I just wanted to point out a couple of things. Number one, she seemed to be saying that the phrase she used is something that Reverend Martin Luther King said. The Reverend never said that because the Reverend knew the potential of black people in America. Additionally, and most importantly, I need to point out that someone who believes in racial equality not only wouldn't make a statement like that and recall a phrase like that, but wouldn't use a preamble like, they're too dumb to understand they're in a bad school. Because we know who, when you say they, you're referring to, Professor Freidman. You say it right after. Black people. No matter who you think said the phrase after, the phrase before is all yours, Professor Freidman, and you said that you don't think that black people are intelligent enough to understand that they're in a bad school. Your brain could have made you say that students are too dumb to understand something, or that young people are too dumb to understand something, but it didn't. It made you go there and follow it up with that hideous racial statement. I'm not on the board of Hunter College, but if I were, I would want to be as far away as possible from somebody who makes statements like that, let alone allowing them to be a professor.
You know what I mean? That was Allyson Freidman and her having these racial slurs come out on the call. Mind you, this comes after we seen Jordan and accepting an award, and somebody called out the N-word at him, and he blamed it on he had Tourette's. You know,
we're here to celebrate the artists who expand.
People asking for this woman to be fired.
Excuse
Excuse me. Small interruption to this episode. If you ain't hit the subscribe button, now is your time to hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? If you ain't hit it yet, go ahead and hit that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Get back to the episode. And yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? Because this just takes things to another level. Because if this is how you feel about your black students at the school and you are a professor, who's to say when it comes down to grading, once you see a black person's name or a black student's grade, who's to say that you're not going to judge them for being a black person and give them a bad grade, an unfair grade? Who knows? You know what I mean? This sparks a lot of questions and a whole lot of debate that I don't think that people need to go through. I think you should just let her go. I think she needs a prime example and needs to be shown that there's consequences for this type of racism in America. You know what I mean? Especially out of school. You know what I'm saying? This just raises a lot of questions, because if that's how you really feel, what are you secretly saying about any other black person at the school? You know what I mean? This is just raising a bunch of questions after you decided to let these racial slurs come out your mouth on a Zoom call, not knowing that your mic was on. You know what I mean? So I am with the movement of her being fired. You know what I'm saying? We can't just keep letting racism affect us as black people in America and just batting an eye to it or turning another cheek to it when it's just slapping us in the face. You know what I mean? Definitely time to start making some noise about it and letting it be known that there is consequences. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else showing a little bit of racism is Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, this took me by surprise. You know what I mean? Because I like Governor Gavin Newsom. You know what I mean? Y'all don't know who he is. He's the governor of California. You know what I'm saying? He was speaking in some type of interview. I guess a crowd full of black people. I guess there was a black person interviewing him. You know what I mean? And he got to making comparisons. Like, see, I'm just like you. I have a low SAT. I can't read. I'm just like you black people. Like, you know, that's just out of line. You know what I mean? So this is what he said on stage in front of people. Everybody was looking at him crazy after this. You know what I mean? The next little clips you're going to see is just, you're going to see this happen that I'm talking about. And also you're going to see a bunch of netizens speak on this and voice state opinions on it. Check it out.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. Literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
He's saying, I'm like you, I can't read to black people. There's so many examples of this.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
A lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line.
They don't know what the word computer is.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black,
do you love it? Do you just love it, black people? Says Nicki Minaj. It's true.
African Americans and Hispanic workers and veterans, you know, workers without high school.
You've written a hell of a book, and I don't say that lightly. I went through it in a quick hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And trust me, I don't read very fast, but it reads at an unbelievable pace. It's so well written. And of course, it's so familiar because I felt a little bit adjacent to so much of the subject matter, but it's 18 chapters. It's an impressive piece of work, 263 or so pages.
I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Wait me, don't you?
I'm like you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. I was going to talk about another Gavin Newsom clip, but can y'all imagine my surprise of coming on Malcolm X's internet during Black History Month and hearing and seeing this? All right, in the spirit of good faith, if y'all can find me a video of Gavin Newsom going to a poor white community and be like, just like y'all, for real, like, I wear dirty wife beaters, I wear flat brim YMCMB hats. I drink Mountain Dew Code Red. I only listen to Eminem. I'm just like y'all poor whites, for real, for real. If y'all can find me, Gavin Newsom, doing that, then I will shut the hell up. He's just out of touch politician, I guess. If y'all can find that, find the equivalent. Yeah, but this nigga really said, yeah, I'm just like y'all, for real, I can't read. Nah, I'm just like y'all, for real. I love Black history. I've read The Souls of Black Folk. I love ball, like something. Nigga gonna say, I'm just like y'all, I can't read.
Wait me, don't you?
You know what I'm saying? That was people speaking other people's reactions to what Newsom had said on that stage. You know what I mean? It's filthy. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? We understand it is Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? We don't need kudos, flowers, anything from any other race outside of African American. You know what I'm saying? We don't need flowers from anyone else. We don't need kudos. We don't need you to show us that you recognize it's Black History Month. We don't need to be shown that you understand what we went through as Black people. Like, we don't need all that. We went through a whole lot 2020. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to 2026. You know what I mean? So we don't need you to recognize that you recognize us as being Black people. You know what I mean? Because it's Black History Month. It seems like that's what's going on, you know what I mean, with people like Freidman and Newsom that I just told you about, you know what I mean? He was trying to be cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm just like you, not realizing how it's coming out, you know what I mean? But that's why I say, you know what I'm saying, your racism is showing a little bit, you know what I mean? You can hide it for so long, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's going to shine through. That's who your true character is, you know what I mean? If you really feel a way towards Black people, you only going to be in the limelight with that mask on for so long before it starts to peek through, you know what I mean? And I think this is what happened, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's cool, you got to, you see, you recognize us, that's cool, you know what I mean? But yeah, when you start to do too much in the field of, I see you, I recognize as you a Black person, you know what I mean? You start to do too much on that, and I think that's what happened here with Gavin Newsom, you know what I mean? Just doing too much, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's all I got for today, though, you feel me? Yeah, it's Black History Month. A couple of white folks' racism is shown. I wanted to point that out to the world, you know what I mean, to my audience, to people to watch, people to follow, subscribe, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean. That's all I had for today, episode 365, you know what I mean. This has been episode 365. Thank all y'all for tuning in, you know what I'm saying. In case that you might have rolled up and the tree was too potent, or in case you pulled up and you got a little too purred when you took that shot or two or three, you know what I'm saying? Or let's say you heard some kids fighting upstairs over who controller it was, who turn it was over Roblox or Minecraft or something. You have to step away from Kons Podcast. In case you missed something, this is everything that I just let you know. You know what I mean? I just let you know that T.I. still funking with 50, dropping diss tracks after his son disrespected his deceased mother yesterday that we seen. You know what I mean? T.I. doubled down on that and dropped 2 diss tracks today. Also let you know that Allyson Freidman, a professor at Hunter College in New York, her mic was on. She didn't know it was on, and she let some racist things come out of her mouth on the Zoom call. Also let you know that Governor Gavin Newsom also showed a little bit of his racism and let that come out during an interview by saying, I am just like y'all, I can't read either. You feel me? That's everything I let you know today. That's everything we went over today for the recap, you know what I'm saying, in case you might have missed it, you know what I mean? But thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank all y'all for watching, you know what I'm saying? The beat you hear creeping up, that you gon' hear creeping up, was made by none other than Infectious, a beat collector beats, you know what I mean? Thank y'all for tuning in, because we all know you could have been doing anything that you wanted to do in the world. No matter who you are, whether you was a little brother, little sister, whether you was a niece, a nephew, an auntie, uncle, whether you was a grandma, grandfather, whether you was a mother, father, you could have been cousin Nunu, cousin Pete, cousin Man, cousin Mookie, cousin Pookie. And if y'all got pets there that's sitting there watching right along with you, you know what I'm saying? With your pet, you can have a pet squirrel, a pet hedgehog, a pet pig, a pet cat, a pet dog, a pet lion, a pet tiger. You can have a pet bearded dragon, a pet crocodile, a pet alligator. Whoever your pet is, you feel me? Give them that good salute. I salute all y'all like you see the emoji scrolling up the screen. You know what I mean? Giving you that good salute, you know what I'm saying, for keeping it locked on Kons Podcast, you know what I mean? But yeah, thank all y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Like I said, the beat you hear creeping up is made by Infectious, a beat collector beats. You feel me? So that beat collectors beats and Infectious. Holla at y'all in the background while these credits roll up the screen. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all in the next episode.
Don't you? You hate me, 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 don't you?
I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech.
You hate me, don't you?
Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way.
You hate me, don't you?
I was gonna talk about another Gavin Newsom clip. Can y'all imagine my surprise of coming?
You hate me, don't you?
And help us put those skills into our lessons.
That's too dumb to
You hate me, don't you?
I mean, apparently Blake said it. Like, if you treat a black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them.
That's a don't know what the fuck you're doing. You understand? Then that.